Hey guys, welcome to a short segment of the Grind Never Stops podcast. In this segment, we will talk about the NBA playoffs and we'll give our quick predictions even though the playoffs have already started. But we want to start to say that we want to thank everyone who has supported us from day one. We have reached close to 500 followers on Twitter, close to 500 followers on Instagram, and we're close to 50 subscribers on YouTube. We'd like to thank everyone who has supported us, and if you haven't supported us yet, you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, by following us on Instagram and Twitter, and by liking our Facebook page. But we're gonna start, and this is your host DJ Joe. So we're gonna start giving our predictions. So between 76ers, between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, will play the Washington Wizards, and they're playing their game one as we speak. And I think the stage will be too big for Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, and they rely on only these two guys. Well, for the Sixers, they rely on many guys in Ben Simmons, in Joel Embiid, in Tobias Harris, in Danny Green, in Seth Curry, in defensive specialist Matthijs Thybulle. So I think the 76ers will be too much for the Wizards, which I got the Sixers winning in a quick 5 games. Next, it will be the Brooklyn Nets, the most hated team in the association. They will face the Boston Celtics, who were 7th and made the playoffs by winning against the Wizards in the play-in tournament. They will be without Jaylen Brown, and maybe if JB was playing, maybe I'd give a chance for the Celtics. But even though without Jaylen Brown, I still think this matchup can go to a strong 7 games, because they got Jason Tatum, because they still got Kemba Walker, they still got defensive specialist and pest Marcus Smart, and they got a great center in Tristan Thompson, which is the X factor for the Celtics will be Tristan Thompson, because he haven't had a huge NBA season, but he could be a key guy grabbing offensive boards, as he was once, in fact twice, the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. But it's about Kemba Walker. Is he going to step up his game like he's been stepping up the last 11 games? Is he going to step up for the first time in his NBA career and play playoff basketball the way it's meant to be played? And this is not just about JT or Marcus Smart. It's about the other guys in Kemba Walker and Tristan Thompson. And for the Nets, it's just the NBA Finals appearance is right in front of them, and they need to take advantage, because they haven't been not with a lot of losing streak this season. And yes, Kyrie, KD, Blake, and Harden, they only played 8 games together, but this is the playoffs. It's a different beast, and I think the Nets will win in 7. Why? Because they got better players these players can make the extra shot, can make the extra dunk, the extra rebound, and that's why the Nets will beat the Celtics in 7 games. And the next matchup is between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat, and the X factor in this matchup is not one player. The X factor of this NBA playoffs is Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the back-to-back MVP, the one of the best in-paint scorers we have in this league, and he hasn't done nothing in the playoffs. Remember 3 years ago against Toronto in the semifinals, what did he do? Nothing. They lost in 6. The following year, what did he do? He lost to Toronto in the conference finals. And last season, with a chance to go to the NBA finals for the first time in a long time, and for the first time in Giannis's career, and making the finals in his MVP season, which he won the award back-to-back. And he failed against Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo? Are you kidding me? You can't get past these guys? And that was embarrassing last season, but this year is a new year for the Bucks. And yes, Eric Bledsoe was garbage, so was George Hill. But they got defensive specialist Drew Holiday, who's not also a defensive specialist. He can also score. He can also rebound more than any of these guys in this league in the point guard position, other than Russell Westbrook. But Drew Holiday is a legit scorer, former 76er draft pick, former player in the New Orleans Pelicans. He was a great player in New Orleans, played with AD, so he has learned to make huge shots for the Pels. And now he has made big shots for the Bucks in the regular season, and he has stepped up since his injury. He has stepped up since the COVID protocol, since it hit him. He has stepped up when Giannis was down, when Chris Middleton couldn't get it down on the floor. So I think the X factor here is not Drew, it's Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo, and this is his chance, his time to reach the NBA Finals for the first time in his career. And this is his time to show the world that, yes, I should have been a nomination for MVP. Yes, I deserve the last 2 MVPs. And yes, he's shooting the 3 ball more and better. But we need to see what's going to happen. And yes, they won game 1 in overtime last night. But they got to continue their role. And they won was not because Giannis shot 10 for 28 from the field. It was the guys that made the extra shots, that got the extra boards, and Drew Holiday. All of his rebounds were relevant. And Chris Middleton played both ends of the floor, played on the defensive end, and he made the game-winning field goal in overtime, which they pulled a huge upset in game 1 between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks, and game 2 is tomorrow night. Then the last matchup of the Eastern Conference is between the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. The Knicks will win in 7 games.